In today's episode, we talk about the legendary Gary Vaynerchuk. Coming up. In today's episode, you're going to feel empowered, unstoppable, and gain the tools to accomplish anything you can dream of, using real examples from some of the most successful entrepreneurs in the world. That's all happening today on the I Can Show. Hey everyone, welcome back to the I Can Show podcast, where we show you the realm of possibilities and how to succeed in your passion. My name is James Martin. I'm so happy you're with us today. So the title of this podcast is The Entrepreneur Giant, Wine YouTuber, and Selling Baseball Cards at 6 years old. I think he's an interesting person to kind of get to know for multiple reasons. And number one, I just think he's an interesting person to get to know for multiple reasons. I've been listening to a lot of his content since early this year. Here's the thing, he's like a born and bred entrepreneur. He's often said that himself many times, he has to be an entrepreneur. That is his passion. Being in the realm of business is his passion. His entire life has been nothing but business. But in case you've never heard, in case there's the 1% of the planet that is listening to this and has never ever heard of Gary Vaynerchuk, he's a Belarusian American entrepreneur, author, speaker, and internet personality. He's also the CEO of multiple businesses such as VaynerX, VaynerMedia, which is one of his bigger companies now that deals with marketing with huge companies like Pepsi and whatnot. Vayner Sports, and his latest opening of 1:37 p.m., which he often describes it as the Washington Post or the New York Times, but about entrepreneurs. And it's on YouTube, it's blogs, podcasts, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, you name it. 1:37 p.m. So, how does this titan begin his life? So, Gary Vaynerchuk was born November 14th, 1975 in Belarus. Gary and his family immigrated to the U.S. from Belarus in 1978. He lived with 8 family members in the studio apartment in Queens, New York, before relocating to Edison, New Jersey. As a young child, Gary began his entrepreneur career by ripping flowers out of his neighbors' yards and using his natural charm to sell them right back at a profit margin he has still yet to equal, and sell them right back. Soon he would upgrade to operating an entire lemonade stand franchise, managing multiple locations and commuting via Big Wheel to collect his profits. In his early teens, Gary cornered the local market for baseball cards, often making thousands in a week with his keen eye for deals and his razor-sharp sales tactics. At 14, he joined his family business, then named Shoppers Discount Liquors, bagging ice for $2 an hour. While at college, where he went home every weekend to keep working at his family's liquor store, Gary discovered a brand new invention, the internet. He immediately saw the potential to sell stuff and set about convincing his father to let him have a website built for Shoppers Discount Liquor, and so that's where WineLibrary.com was born. Over the following years, Gary would make it his mission to be the first mover wherever he could see sales opportunities, from email marketing to Google AdWords to flash sales. And this is where he would discover something that would become a huge success later on, which is Wine Library on YouTube. Now, in 1998, Gary assumed management of his father's liquor store. That was his way, as he's described many times, of giving back to his family for bringing him to America and taking care of him. So his way to give back to his family and grow the family's company, which I believe he said has went from $3 million to over $50 million. In 2006, Gary created a YouTube vlog called the Wine Library TV. The show featured wine reviews and advice on wine appreciation in Gary's unique, down-to-earth, yet bombastic style. Episodes consisted of wine tasting along with other wine-related topics and were produced in a breakneck speed of one 20-minute episode per day. The show eventually reached cult status, and Gary began to get calls from local news outlets who wanted to interview the internet wine guy. Due to the fame and success, he made an appearance on the Conan O'Brien show that ultimately launched Gary into the limelight. He's also been invited onto the Ellen DeGeneres show way back in the day. As the show continued, Gary proceeded to invite guests onto the show with him, beginning with well-known wine personalities like Jancis Robinson, and moved into mainstream celebrities and sports personalities like Wayne Gretzky. Wine Library TV went on for 1,000 episodes before Gary decided it was time to end the show. And imagine that, he uploaded one episode every day for 5 freaking years. That's a lot. After growing his family's business through what Gary calls underpriced attention, including content, e-commerce, email marketing, and Google AdWords, Gary began his journey of producing original business content as the voice of entrepreneurship online. In the process of Gary's rise to fame as a web personality, he fostered relationships with various CEOs and investors like Kevin Ross, Travis Kalanick, Ev Williams, and Mark Zuckerberg. These connections led to Gary's first forays into angel investing, with early involvement with companies like Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr. During this time, Gary also embarked on what would become a prolific career as a public speaker, delivering his very first keynote at Web 2.0 Expo in 2008, the content of which would become the basis of his first work, Crush It! All of this led to Gary to become a fixture at major tech events, including South by Southwest Interactive, where his off-the-grid secret wine party became a yearly tradition for those in the know. It's also due to this keynote that he would really get his fame and really get into the mainstream. In 2008, Gary gave a keynote at Web 2.0 in New York City that would ultimately change his career. That speech solidified and was the backbone of Gary's $1 million 10-book deal with HarperCollins, leading to his first book, Crush It!, in 2009, which went on to become an international bestseller, laying in the foundation for his principles on media, marketing, and communication. Soon after, Gary began angel investing in notable companies, including Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Uber, Snap, and Vimeo. So after a while, he was working at his dad's liquor store and would eventually move out and would start his very own company called Vaynermedia. So it's interesting how his whole perspective comes in. He's really huge into, pursuing on your passion, working hard, hustling, being nice to everyone. Customer is king, as I said in previous episodes. If you get a chance, find the full keynote on YouTube. Definitely worth checking out, and you can also read his books. And if you find any of this stuff inspirational, I want you to let me know in the comments or email me at magicutmedia@gmail.com if anything inspires you. I would love to know. So, starting Vaynermedia. So according to a blog called The Hardest Thing About Starting Vaynermedia on his website, GaryVaynerchuk.com, Vaynermedia started in 2009. My daughter Misha was born in 2009. My second book, Crush It!, came out in 2009. All those things were happening. So when people ask me what the hardest thing about starting Vaynermedia was, I tell them that the hardest part wasn't starting it. The hard part was asking, is it a good use of my time? In 2009, after walking away from Wine Library TV, Gary and his brother AJ, who had recently graduated from college, founded Vaynermedia, an agency focused on helping large brands tell their stories on social media. Securing early clients like the New York Jets and NHL allowed them to scale at a rapid pace, outgrowing 3 offices and scaling to over 500 employees in just 6 years. Vaynermedia now represents Fortune 500 clients like Generic Electric, InBev, and Pepsi Company, and recently announced their move to Hudson Yards, Manhattan's hotly anticipated multi-billion-dollar development. So, what's so cool about Gary Vaynerchuk? Something that at least I like about Gary is he's very, very free with his advice. He's got a YouTube channel where he shares constantly personal vlogs, the Ask Gary V show, his podcast, all sorts of things where he's very open. You can follow him on his social media like Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, etc. He's very, very open with his advice. And you can pretty much find him anywhere with daily content and also postings all sorts of great content and podcasts everywhere. So I just want to leave you with a top 10 rules for success list by Evan Carmichael about Gary Vaynerchuk. This is what's so cool about the guy. So number 1, bet on your strengths. Again, one of the things that makes Gary kind of special is number 1 is he's already had one of those key personalities for sales. That's where he kind of started. He also really wanted to become a business owner and then eventually become a personality on YouTube and eventually a speaker, which has sort of become like the backbone of his entire career. Number 2, his biggest advice is work. He's a huge advocate for hustling. Now, I don't want people to get confused when he talks about hustle because, you know, if you listen to him a lot, he will say, you know, wake up at 4 a.m., work the 20-hour days, work the 19-hour days, do whatever. I'm also going to say you can do whatever amount of work feels for you, but the point is work. We all know that. Number 3, put business in perspective. What is it your long-term game is? What is it that you want to hope to get out of your business? What is it the bigger dream, the bigger goals that you want to get out of your business? Number 4, execute your ideas. As I said before with the YouTube episode, several episodes back, it's not just about what you plan on doing later, it's just about starting. So if you have an idea, do it, execute on it, just aim for it, try it out. If it fails, it fails, but one of them will be the gem and the diamond in the rough that will succeed. Number 5, don't overlook storytelling. I've said this before in the YouTube podcast with the vlogger Casey Neistat, where storytelling is a big thing. Everyone loves stories. Everyone. Can you tell your product or your service or anything in a particular story? Everyone loves stories. So utilize stories. That's a very underpriced tactic. Care about your customers. Obviously, that's a big thing. Number 7, stick to your DNA. I've mentioned this before that everything that Gary has really learned about, you know, his strengths versus his weaknesses, he's always pushed more on his strength, less on his weakness. Not everyone's good at everything. And so I think it's really, really important that we all understand about what's it that you're really, really good at, and then just maximize on that to the best. And if there's an area that you're weak in, you get someone else to fill that in, because someone's going to be a strength in that one particular area. Number 8, do things that matter. Again, spend your time wisely. Number 9, don't make excuses. Love that one. And number 10, there is no overnight success. Or I guess if you really want to look at it, you know, like Wine Library TV, it took 5 years to create an overnight success, right? And if you want to go check out Wine Library TV, it's still on YouTube. You can go check it out. 1,000 episodes. Very, very, very awesome. Alright, so I hope that helped you guys. If there's anything that inspired you from Gary Vaynerchuk's life, let me know in the comments, or please shoot me an email to magicupmedia@gmail.com. Thanks very much for listening to the episode. If you want to support us by checking out our merchandise, you can go to shop.spreadshirt.ca/ICanShow. You can check out our amazing, motivational, and empowering clothing and be a part of the community. And when you purchase our merchandise, you're supporting this podcast so we can continue to serve more entrepreneurs and bring you some of the most amazing content, especially in 2019. Looking forward to all the brand new stuff we want to bring there. If you got any value out of this, please share these episodes with your friends, with everyone that you know. We want to touch as many different lives and inspire as many different entrepreneurs to succeed in their passion as possible. So I'll see you next time, guys. Enjoy, get empowered, get inspired, and I'll see you on the next episode. Take care.